Produced by Walt Disney Animation Studios and distributed by Walt Disney Studios, released in 2021, was that of Encanto. In the magical realm of Encanto, within Colombia, in South America, Mirabel lives with her extended family. Due to the circumstances mentioned or depicted in the film, each member of her extended family possesses an extraordinary ability to help themselves, the family, and even the community in which they all live within. Mirabel is the only member of her family that doesn't necessarily have a special ability, and later uncovers a family secret as well as the mysterious origin of how their magical home of Castilla came to be. From information now known, when the movie was released, it had a revenue of roughly 256 million United States dollars against a budget of roughly 150 million United States dollars. At the time, the film needed to earn at least 300 million United States dollars to make back its budget on various expenses. However, this did not happen. For all of the praise associated with the film, it was technically a failure in terms of not regaining the profits for the production of the film, but this was ignored by audiences as well as critics. Why? The film was released during the COVID-19 pandemic, where people globally, and especially in the United States at the time, were somewhat hesitant about going to theaters for fear of contracting the virus. A majority of people decided to simply wait for the film to be released through the Disney Plus streaming service of the time to see it, at which, through a subscription, it was logically cheaper and more effective to see than through a local theater in person. According to sources, Disney expected a decline in attendance as a result, but it ended up being more of a loss than their projections originally had it to be. Encanto went through multiple script rewrites as many ideas were conceived of, used, and later discarded in favor of others. Eventually, the final version of the film that was later made official had it focus on a large, extended family. The concept was somewhat peculiar according to those who had worked on the film, because normally a Disney feature has character development for a few that were the main focus of the film, as the development and focus on all of the characters in Encanto were done intentionally to represent the extended Spanish or even Latin interpretations of a larger family. As a result, Encanto had development for the entire Madrigal family. While it added an extra sense of awareness for viewers, it also detracted from the entire concept of the movie by making it arguably too complex from the different points of view, as well as story elements that were depicted in terms of the character portrayals, which needed to be explained further in detail for audiences to better understand the situations presented to them relating to the plot of the story. A sub-theory had it that the music, which arguably saved the movie from being a complete failure, had hidden meanings which viewers of the movie or listeners of the songs mention about the situation of the exact details relating to the Madrigal family. The most iconic song of the movie, We Don't Talk About Bruno, mentioned how the entire village knew how Bruno was ostracized and shunned by his own family. As a manifestation of his powers, he was openly eager to express it, but the family interpreted it negatively. Further information had lines from the song being, quote, 7-foot frame rats along his back, end quote, as the family did nothing to correct the villagers' assumptions on fears of Bruno, as with the line, quote, left Abuela and the family fuming, end quote, meant that they were more upset with their social standing rather than Bruno's health or safety. Luisa literally did most of the things not only for the family but for the entire village as well, nearly having no time for herself at all. She did manual labor for most of her life, and the entire premise of Surface Pressure was that with the line, quote, I'm pretty sure I'm worthless if I can't be of any service, end quote, as it got so bad that she nearly suffered a mental breakdown if not for Mirabel's concerns for her. Isabella's arranged marriage is something not for her, but once again for the social standing and credibility of the family, her near perfection at anything she does is actually warping her own point of view. On the line, quote, what could could I do if I just knew it didn't need to be perfect, end quote, represented her desire to just be an ordinary woman and not the focus or center of everyone's attention all the time. The realization of the lack of an ability for Mirabel on the family's obligations to the village come from Alma, as it was her who was the source of the problems for the family. And only at the end of the film does she acknowledge her obsessiveness when it comes to controlling the family and the members within her family, and the fact that Mirabel will just be an ordinary woman who was denied an ability to help others due to Alma's selfishness. Though the sub-theory is just that, an online speculation-based theory, it's now known that similar thoughts or opinions about the songs on movie might have been why it wasn't appreciated nor respected at the time of its original release. A character can be overrated yet hated because the characters were supposedly interesting, but a combination of circumstances had no real focus or attention for any of them.